Hey everyone, it's me. I'm back. I'm sorry that I had to cancel last Fridays at the last minute, but listen, I was really sick. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the flu. Who knows? But I'm here. I switched my office around because I am psychotic and I'm very busy. And when I do that, sometimes I procrastinate by hyper focusing on moving things in my office, which is a terrible idea. But anyway, kind of kind of like the new setup. You may notice the new background. You see behind me, that's actually a piece of a giant painting that I did in a gallery last year. I made a video about it, but I had to cut it up to fit it in my house because they gave it to me after the show, and that's a quarter of it. So, I'm gonna draw names today. I don't know if there's gonna be too many people here because it's sort of a holiday, and, maybe people don't even think I do live streams anymore because I had to miss some from travel, and then I was sick. So anyway, I'm gonna draw some names. Just a couple quick announcements. Obviously, as a, business owner, I am contractually required to let you know that we have a big Black Friday sale going on, 25% off everything, including sale items. You just use the promo code Black Friday 2025. That also includes my classes, which is pretty cool, and all kinds of other stuff like my shapes packs for Fresco, my fonts, my brush presets, all kinds of stuff. I hesitated when I said brush presets because I actually don't have any brushes at the moment besides my vector presets. But if you are interested in my main brush pack that I use for pretty much everything, like my Retro Splico pack. Retro Splico is also having a Black Friday sale, and it's 50% off. So you can get my mega super pack from Retro Splico that has brushes, all kinds of textures. It's got some fonts. It's got like video tutorials, so much stuff. Like the Riso brushes I use all the time. All of that's in there. It's pretty much everything that I use that's not vector. And it's 50% off right now, so that's a good deal. So if you're interested, you should, check that out after you check out the, Black Friday sale on my site. Also, if you saw Tuesday's video, I tested out that, crazy, DTF transfer printer and made a whole bunch of stuff. I made a lot of that one-of-one stuff available on my site, and most of it sold out, but there is still a few things left, so if you're interested, um you can grab those things. But I plan to do more with that, so, stay tuned. I think that's all I wanna say. I guess I can start drawing names now. Thank you all for tuning in. This is gonna be fun. Um, good morning, Diana Lisa. Good morning, Chili Pen Paper, the Stinktober champion of the universe. Everyone in the chat say congratulations to Chili Pen Paper for being my, Stinktober champion. If you didn't see that video, you should check it out. There's so much good Stinktober stuff in there. Um, yeah, uh, Annie from Germany, amazing. So many, I just wanna say hi to everyone in the chat, but I know that that's not, good content, so I'm gonna take sip time, Lincoln Park, Marco Pezzetta, Jervis, okay, Adam Dashwood. Alright, while I'm drawing, keep asking me questions, even though I'm looking at my iPad. Matt in the chat, I feel like you really need to change your username to Matt in the chat just for this. So that you can just he grabs those questions and puts them in a document that I have up on my screen, so when I glance up, I can look at it. So keep the questions coming. Otherwise, I'm gonna just I don't know. Who knows what'll happen. Let me put in some background music. Let me switch to my iPad. Oh, we gotta go back. Go back, go back, go back. Real quick. Thank you to all of my patrons, my official Piascikos. On Patreon and YouTube memberships get their name drawn and included in all the videos I make while they're active members, and I love you all dearly. So thank you so much. Shout out to you. link in the description if you want to know more about that. I post all kinds of exclusive content on there, and we've got a hangout group. I need to schedule the next one, by the way. We got a sticker club. You get stickers in the mail every month. New ones just went out last week. Okay. The reason I was reminded about that is Paul Gleish is the most recent YouTube member, and this is just a sketch. I was working on it. I didn't finish it. So just shout out to Paul. Your name's coming. I was trying something out here. I didn't finish. So we're gonna I just want you to know that I see you and I appreciate you. And where's my mic go when my desk is set up like this? It's in my face. What are we doing here? One issue I have with this new setup is I'm probably gonna punch my mic. Can we put it up high like this? Is that in my face? That's not terrible. Can you hear me? Hi. How's it going? Okay. New layer. Let's grab my sketchy brush from my Retro Spyco set that I was plugging a minute ago. The first name on my list to draw today. There's a pinned comment at the top for how this works, but you know, most of you know I do the first come, first serve, start at the top. You do have the ability to skip the line with a super chat, $20 and above if you want to do that. If not, you know, I'm just going to go down the list from when I go live. Okay. Javier is first. Turn down smoothing so we can write faster. Javier. Okay. I just gotta move some stuff on my screen because my setup is not ready yet. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. All right, what are we gonna do? My desk, I'm uncomfortable. I think I got shoulder pain. Nobody has any questions for me? What the heck of the world? How do we draw Javier? Also, since it's like a holiday, my kid is not at school, and he is 4, so he will be stomping around. I don't know if that'll be audible to you. It's audible to me, but that's fine. I just, you know, if you hear screaming or banging, that's what's happening. Ooh, I like that we can sort of have these angles. We could do very angular stuff with this. Okay, that's fun. Let's make a new layer and, you know, be intentional and make some angles. So I think what I'll do is, I'm just gonna grab like a vector brush and make some angles in another color to use as like a reference. Also, Dottie Dog is usually at doggy daycare on Fridays, but she's not because they're closed, so she'll be barking. There's gonna be all kinds of noises. Okay, we got that angle. So what I'm doing is just trying to find some like interesting angles so it like has some sort of like system to it. I don't know. This probably looks like nonsense to everyone else, but it's helpful to me. I'm not necessarily going to use them all, but it'll give me something to like reference as I'm tightening it up. And actually I think I'll do this one in vector because I can use the vector trimming to make some really sharp points. I want to make sure that it's not like too perfect either. Like I want there to be still some, it can get a little bit stagnant if like if everything is like exactly balanced, I think. My mic is in focus, my face is not. Nice job, Sony. Stupid idiot. I think maybe I need to like update firmware or something on my camera, but I'll give you guys something to look out for on Tuesday's video. There's a part at the end where I'm talking and I'm like holding a microphone and it focuses on the microphone and not my face. And that is ridiculous. It's supposed to, oh, maybe I accidentally turned off like the face recognition thing. That's quite possible. I could have done that. So look out for a minute of me being blurry. But not blurry enough for me to scrap the footage. I would have if it was an intro, but it was at the end. I already hooked you at that point. If you were watching it then, you're all in, and you're gonna cut me some slack, I think. Teak 6 Tom, you said, when are you doing characters again? What does that mean? Drew Wise, top 3 Aesop Rock albums, and what else are you currently listening to while you work? I am bad at remembering album names that didn't come out when I was more actively like album driven. I feel like you know, things like Spotify and whatever have like ruined that for me, so it's hard for me to remember album names. Maybe I like the only one that I can remember specifically is None Shall Pass, because I remember the Jeremy Fisher artwork and like buying that that album, the CD, and it was like a digipack. That's a industry term for like the ones that's not a jewel case. It's like cardboard, the cardboard like foldy ones. I used to, in my design days, I did a lot of stuff in the music industry, and you know, when we did album packaging, like you always wanted to do a digipack because they were, you know, you had more control than just like a jewel thing, and they were a little bit fancier. What am I listening to currently? Well, I actually did a fun project, and when I say fun, it was I obsessed over it and it stressed me out. Andrew Nair started this project called something Staff Radio or something. Anyways, with Andy J Pizza, they did this like top 100 thing where you make like a playlist of your top 100 songs, and the playlists are like listed on that website. You just look up Andrew Nair, Neyer, you'll find his website, and then look for like the Staff Radio thing. Or I have it linked on my Instagram as well. But you could get that playlist. But I've also been trying to listen to new music. I'm trying to do a my friend Josh Lafayette does a his like artwork for his favorite albums of the year, and I always want to do it, but I like haven't been listening to like enough music that came out the same year in a long time. So I've been like, it just so happened that this year I think I finally listened to more new music or enough new music that it's like it would make sense for me. But I would say, I'm like glancing over at some of my favorite new albums. I really like the new Military Gun album, the new Lucy Dacus album. I like the new Deftones album. I wasn't expecting to say that this year. New Shad album, Homefront, Clips, obviously. PDUSA. What do we got? Deaf Heaven. Sleigh Bells. What is another one that I've been listening to a lot lately? Oh, there's this. I just found it recently through Josh Ben Quad or something, and it's like the most nostalgic music for me because it just sounds like early 2000s emo from like when I was sad in art school. But it's just, I don't know, it's good. That was the longest answer I've given to a question in a long time. But it distracted me from overthinking this, and then I was able to just bang it out. Let's fill this in and see. The A is a little too thin. We got to fix that up. I think maybe too long as well. I may, let's see if maybe we can get away with getting rid of the counter. We'll see how it looks. Because I kind of like that it reflects the V, and it, there's no other letter that it could be mixed up. Yeah, I like that. I hope you like it too. What am I doing to my shoulder? Okay. Oh, you know what? I bet this would look better on black. Yep. Yep, sure does. Sure does, Javier. All right. Let me grab my sketchy. Next up on the list is Dashwood. Teak Sixpam, you said cartoon characters, like you did one week. Matt chat suggested character. Oh, like where I just like people gave me suggestions for random things and I drew it like a big jumble. Is that what we're talking about? I was considering doing that on Friday before I got sick, especially because Matt was away on vacation and he gathers the names for me and it makes it easier. But yeah, I will. I should do one of those too. I stopped myself from sketching too big. I'm feeling like some sort of like angular forward, like it's dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. So, Druvis, you said another cue for crit. What features functionality do you want Fresco to introduce the most? I would like the ability to import vector artwork. Just like an SVG or something would be fine. And I would like a natural way to like bring animation from Fresco into Photoshop, and I understand why it doesn't work because Photoshop uses a video timeline Fresco does not use a video timeline. Each layer has a continuous loop, so it's not sequential. But I feel like it could work by just having the motion come in as a smart object, and it like will play on your timeline, but it's like a smart object. So if you want to edit it, you have to go into the smart object. I feel like that would get around it. I brought that up to the developers when I was with them at Adobe Max and Lightbox. So hopefully, I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing. The vector thing, it would be a big one for me though. Because when I have to work in vector and then I have to like edit something, it's annoying because like I'll have to like draw the edit in Fresco and then like patch it together in Illustrator. And it's not that big of a deal, but it's not as easy as it could be. But other than that, I love Fresco. Just does everything I wanted to do perfectly. Okay. Well, let's tighten this up. Oh boy, I see a whole bunch of deleted comments from one person going ham. Yeah, that's a good point. I do these first come, first serve from the top, so just commenting your name over and over and over again doesn't move it up any higher. The only way you can jump the line is with a super chat. I appreciate the enthusiasm, though. Rich Dem Artist. Hello from Connecticut. Hello also from Connecticut. Did you know that? Is that why you're saying it? CT in the house. That's not what we do. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Let's fill this in and see if it needs any tightening up. I did not mean to do that. Actually, in terms of functionality and things in Fresco, I do not like this new. I've been trying to get used to it for a while, and I didn't like it at first, and I thought it just wasn't used to it. But the new brush menu, where like it's all grouped together, I get that they're trying to simplify it because so many little babies complain and are like, it's just a complicated user interface. And I'm like, have you ever used any desktop app? Like, have you ever seen Clip Studio? Have you ever used Photoshop? Like, this is not a complicated UI. But so they like were like, okay, we'll make it simpler and we'll group the 3 different kinds of brushes under one thing. But it's annoying for me. But they're like constantly in a battle where they're like trying to make it user friendly without losing any functionality, so like people can just like start drawing in it. But you know, All right, Dashwood, I hope you like it. I think this turned out fun. Actually, we gotta do one little thing. This tail's looking a little weak. Needs a little bit more oomph. Just felt a little unbalanced. Yeah, cool. Up next on the list is Edimer. Double D Y M E R. Okay. Edimer. Ravel Ruiz, you said, what do you think about Procreate Dreams? I think Procreate Dreams has some interesting and cool features. The current version has a lot of flaws, though, and it makes it almost unusable for me. The new version is supposed to fix a lot of that stuff, and I am looking forward to trying it. But I don't think it's like is it in terms of like, will it change the way I use motion? I'd probably use it for different things. Like I would still do most of my stuff in Fresco because my stuff is usually more about continuous motion. It's more about like I'm less of an animator and more an illustrator that often incorporates motion into otherwise static illustration. And for that, Fresco is always going to be better because of like the timelines on each layer. It just makes it a lot easier, and the way you can control things quickly. Also, the things like frame by frame animation and then just like drawing a path that you can put it onto. There's a ton of reasons why. But for sequential stuff where you need a timeline, if they can fix the issues that it has, I think it'll be fantastic. All right, what are we gonna do for this? Got tricky shapes when you've got like the 2Ds and then like something very linear like the E. What the heck was that noise? Get 2Ds next to each other is tricky business. I wonder if like we could do some sort of like combo letter where they're like, was that the Daredevil logo? There's like mega banging above my head right now. Just playing right now. I don't know what's happening, but we'll see. Pizza Girl X. I wish you could opt out of certain user interfaces. Yeah, agreed. Or like you have an option. You could have like a beginner workspace and like a pro workspace. Rich March, you said found Fresco, loved it, then found your channel stuff online, learned a bunch from your videos, then so you're also in Connecticut. Oh, small world, awesome, thank you. Love to hear it. This took an interesting route, and I'm having fun. Started doing some like thicker and thinner stuff at the end, so we're gonna have to like fix that. We're gonna have to adjust the stuff at the beginning, but I think we can make something fun with this. Let's hopefully I'm my mic is loud enough because it's a little bit far away with this new setup. I might have to move my mic over there. I didn't consider the arm situation. Shortcut, thank you so much. You said you put the drawing that I did for you in a frame. That's so nice. Felicity creates. You're not enjoying the new format of the combined brushes. Okay, well, I'm glad that I'm not alone. I figured that was probably the case. Druvis, you said this would be a hard one for me to answer personally, but what's your favorite sketch from I Think You Should Leave? Do you relate to any of the characters? I don't know. I think my favorite one is when he is wearing all that, dressed up as the that like old guy, and he's doing like a prank show thing. It's just really funny. Okay. We just gotta like, it's a little like wonky right now. I think we just need some math involved. Maybe I could just use a grid to help with some alignments. We'll do a grid, and then I'm also gonna use symmetry to like fix the shape a little bit. Did I not close those lines? What are we doing here? Oh, yeah. What the heck? Oh. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna do something with that, but I just thought maybe something fun could happen there, but who knows? Actually, maybe. Well, it's just a helpful guide, that's all. Bravo Ruse, you said you discovered my work last week and you're my new inspiration for drawing lettering. Thank you for the good work with your videos. Thank you so much. That's so nice to hear. I think it's cool when people are still like discovering my work, just because like, you know, I've been posting stuff online for for a million years. You know, I started my daily drawing project well before Instagram even existed. And I remember when I first started this channel, it's kind of I assumed like people were just finding me from Instagram because I had, you know, not a huge, but like a sizable following on Instagram for like a decade. And I remember doing a poll and it was like mostly new people because Instagram sucks. And that was never even something I considered, that I would just like have all new audience. I like to try to make these lines like connect as much. Like I'm just trying to connect this all as like seamlessly as possible, just like all the letters, so they just sort of feel like they're cut out of one piece. So now I can just like trim away what I don't need. I see those hearts flying and I love it. Thank you. Let me play my little like smasher guy. I think I tried to name this guy recently. And I was thinking of I just had a sidetrack. I was thinking about I was trying to name him recently because I was wanting to just start being more like, there's some characters that I draw a lot and I was like, and I always feel weird like I'm like, oh, I already drew this, I can't draw it again, but like that's not how it works. I want to have like more repeating characters, and I draw that like the cloud guy quite a bit, and I was like, well, maybe I need to name these characters. So I was thinking of like Nimbus is like a kind of cloud, but then he's kind of like doofy. I was like, what about if it's Nim or Jimbus or Nimgus? What do you guys think? Gotta do some trimming because again, a little confused here. Syntax hate H40. You said, in your opinion, which social media platform would be better than Instagram for posting illustrations? I mean, honestly, that's probably still the one that I use, because although it sucks, it's still like, you know, before YouTube, whenever I asked like when people would reach out to me for work, like new clients, I bet if I asked where they found me, you know, they would almost always say Instagram. So I think that's still the case, which is a bummer, but I don't know. I don't know if there's many other options. I think, I do think there's some merit in Behance because it's, you know, where it's like specifically where someone would go to find creative work, and like art directors would be on there already. And you know, Instagram is for everything. So when you're on a very, although the reach won't be as large on like Behance, it's a more it's specific to what you're doing. So I think that's probably a reasonable option. Cool. I think this is fun. I hope you like it too. Next up is the one and only Val Vasquez. Shout out Diana Lisa. P-A-S-Q-U-E-S. Okay. Rich, you said maybe Fresco has this, but a feature that let you continue a line and have them merge together nicely would be nice. Oh, it doesn't, but I think you're talking about like where you can join points with like in Illustrator. It works in Illustrator because of like the vector paths, but maybe they could do it with the vector brushes in Fresco. It wouldn't, I don't think that's possible. You wouldn't be able to do it with pixel brushes because that's not how it works. But you could connect paths. I guess the tricky thing is vector and Fresco is shape based as opposed to path and fill. So it's cool. Could be a cool feature. All right, what are we gonna do here? Got some tricky letters in here. Look at like the Q. I don't want to do a if I do script, I don't want to do like a lowercase q, I don't think. Maybe I'm just gonna like just start with the Q in the middle of the lettering and just kind of play with that part and see if it maybe inspires something for the rest. The Z is tricky as well, so maybe we just do some whatever we want Z. But see, that's fun, getting those two like tails to sort of line up. Quiz. That's what we'll just call you Quiz from now on, and that's just your new name. Okay. What if what if, hear me out, let's move this over like this. Let's duplicate it. Let's flip it. Let's merge it over. This might not work, but I have an idea in my head that might be something. See? I'm not crazy. I think we can do something with this. We just, like, it's a little wonky right now, but I think if we... Let's come down here. Let's turn on the symmetry. All right, let's see. At least you said you'll try out the new nickname, see if it sticks. Raymond Glidwell, you said, just getting started with Fresco. Love your content. Very informative, helpful. Thanks so much. Gwogster, you said, are you planning on doing a new merch line with your... I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm going to make a lot of stuff. I got to say that. It is way too much fun. I'm currently waiting on some estimate from my screen printer, but I'm going to probably do a new hoodie soon, and I'm planning on having... My idea is to have them do like the back and the sleeves, and then I was planning on like doing a DTF for like the front chest part of it, or not the chest, like on a little like graphic right here, because that would allow me to do like a 3 or 4 color thing, additional like print location, with in addition to what they're doing, without like the added cost of like 3 more screens and colors. So stay tuned about that. Rucho Mobrowski, you said, in your experience, what's the best way to reach clients today, especially when it's so difficult to stand out on social media and AI is stepping in and taking part of the market? You know, it's tricky. I am in a lucky situation where I haven't like done... I guess I never really did client outreach because the way that I built my illustration career was, like, I always kind of joke and say accidentally, but it's sort of true. I worked as a graphic designer at college, and I started a daily drawing project where I was posting a new drawing online every day, and I did that for after like a year of doing it, I started getting like random clients reaching out to me, trying to like wanting me to do something based on those illustrations. And then after 2 years, it was happening even more. And then I got the economy crashed. I got laid off from my design job, and I just decided to go all in on that. And I just kept doing it, and because I continued posting daily drawings for so long, it was just sort of like a numbers game. And clients have always just come to me, but it's a result of like consistently putting out work and sharing it. So, I don't know. I think one important thing with like, in regard to like AI and like standing out from that is like really, showing more like a process stuff or like thought behind something just to like, stand out and have it matter. Because the one thing that like AI is easily going to replace just like generic illustration stuff that's like not anything. But I think that is not where the value is. Like, the whole, just like the kind of assignment where it's like, oh, we just need a drawing of a tiger or something, or just something generic. But like that illustration is about like telling a story with images and like communicating something. It's not just like a drawing of a cow. So leaning into stuff that has some thought behind it or is communicating something is what has always made illustration stand out, and it's even more important now than it ever was before. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay, now we got to figure out what to do with Val. Well, we've got symmetry, so we might want to continue with that route. Let me see if I can make like some sort of shape that will work. It's gonna be tricky because of the L. We may have to abandon symmetry for the top. Maybe we could just not have it at all, but we'll try real quick. Yes, that L is tricky. I think maybe we'll do something like linear to balance it, and then we can have like a shape tie it together and then do like a 3D situation like this. Okay, I think that'll be good. We just need to make Val smaller. Okay, let's tighten it up. Did I spell it wrong yet? No. I'm gonna I think I'm gonna draw the Vasquez letters in white on a black background because I think they're gonna be knocked out of a shape, so this will make it more accurate to what it's gonna look like. And I'm going to start with the S and the Q because that's like the one area that's still slightly problematic, or that I'm not fully sure of. Oh, that's why I shifted it. That's why Symmetry doesn't work now. I just need to use the original drawing. It's because it's shorter on... It's longer on the O side, or the Q side, not the O side. But they connect at the same point. That was why I did it before. Okay. I'm not making any sense, but I am to me, so that's okay. Druvis, you said, any fun plans for the weekend? You know, it's a 4-day weekend from, you know, the holidays and school. So it's going to be a lot of playing Ninja with a 4-year-old and, you know, that kind of thing. It's going to be exhausting, but I don't think I have any. Actually, I might go skating tomorrow with my old friend from when we were little kids. Actually, 2 of them. So that's awesome. Okay, that's working. Thanks again for the super chat, Diana Lisa. I was just thinking about you recently because you've been a supporter for so long, and we used to have the video chats as part of your higher tier perk. I haven't had one in a long time. So I was like, oh, I wonder if she hates my channel now. She doesn't like me anymore. This A is tricky too. I think I was probably trying to do too much with that connection, so I may just bail on that. Ian Donald 998, you said you are an inspiration to artists, musicians, and genuinely creative people. That is delightful. Thank you so much. Wow, I was not expecting to. I was expecting to read a question, and then I was just like, let me just read out loud the nicest comment ever about me. Let me just take a moment to read why I am so wonderful. All right, we just need a little extra oomph on the side of the queue. All right, now we can do the 3D part. I'm gonna do that on a separate layer just to give myself some flexibility. And I'm going to put like a border around the whole thing. So I'm gonna draw that in first so that I can use that to connect the 3D parts, because otherwise it'll be too thin. Or not thin, I don't know what I'm saying. Actually, I want to fix that. I'm gonna do a symmetry thing for that, because otherwise it's gonna look weird. Okay. Nope, that looks bad. Nope. They need to either be exactly the same or more different. Just felt like it needed a little something to tie it together. Okay. Where's that? Damn. All right. I hope you like it. Cool. Delete. Okay. Up next in the names is Druvis. What's happening? Drew, is it Druvis? Yeah. Hey, did you drew this? Hey, look, I drew this. Do you like what I drew this? What are we gonna do here? Chili pen paper, you said, has the smoothest in Fresco become less laggy, or am I wrong? Well, I don't know. Earlier I was doing something in Fresco and I set it to max and it felt less laggy than usual. I think so. Well, the way smoothing works in Fresco is like, when it's turned to 100, it's like cleaning it up. Like we draw it and it like cleans it up. So it's like, it has to do it after you draw. So that's why it shows up as a lag. But if you're using vector, it would be a little bit slower, I think, because it has to like fix it, but also make all the paths and stuff like that. So, I don't know. It could have been the brush. Some brushes are easier to smooth than others. All right, I don't know what we're gonna do for Druvis, but I'm just gonna play and see if something appears to me. There's lots of like angles in these letters, so I'm seeing if maybe there's something I could do with that. My brush is too small for sketching. I like that there's all like the W and then the V, there's just like all these like angles coming in, so maybe you could do something with that. I just sort of wish it was in the center. I wonder if I can make that happen somehow. Because like this is not anything yet at all. Garbage at the moment, but there might be, I feel like there's still something that can happen with like these repeated angles. I'm like trying to see if I could somehow fit more. Like the R and the E take up a lot of space. Okay, so maybe it doesn't have to, like, symmetrical maybe is not going to happen. So then if it's not symmetrical, Just trying to like figure out interesting shapes, and then that might help determine how it could look. So like I like to think of it as an overall shape before if I'm like struggling, and then that if you have like a good shape, that'll make everything sort of flow better and come together. Like, I think that's a pretty cool shape. Well, let's see if that gets us anywhere. Dan Lisa, you said, yes, let's set one up. Nothing but love here. Still an OG fan. Thank you so much. One of my oldest supporters, Dan Lisa. You've been a supporter since I think I had, I don't know, a few thousand subscribers. Fred Forever Art, you said you're pushing yourself to draw every day, and so far you've done 11 characters. That's amazing. You've improved so much that you're having to go back to the first one. Yeah, I know how that goes. I many years ago, like several times actually, tried to do this like I wanted to do like an alphabet book that was just like a jumble. Every one I would do is like a jumble of things that started with that letter. And every time I got like close to the end, I'd go and look at the early letters, and they would be hot garbage. So I would like, oh, I got to redo these, and then the same thing would happen, and then I would just have to like give up. So there's been like, I feel like we're going through like the archive of, you know, daily drawings, really see several attempts at like that series. It just could not make it happen. So I just hated them. Did I leave anything out? DREWVIS. Okay. I like what happened here. I just think that if we just angle the D a little bit more, it'll be cool. I just think it would be more dynamic like that. Gwogster, you said the way you say cool makes me juggle. Sounds like either Beavis or I never thought about that, or can't even think about. I would assume it probably is Butthead, because Beavis is more like cool. But maybe that's how I talk. I don't know. Maybe when I'm mumbling, I talk like that. Who knows? Froglet Land, you said you do love Procreate. Was wondering how hard it is to learn Fresco compared to Procreate. I mean, they're both very easy. I would say that there's like a little bit of a learning curve in switching apps, but they both are. A lot of people assume that, like, if you're comfortable with an app that you've been using forever, and then you go to like use something else and it feels hard because you have like muscle memory from like knowing where everything is, and you just assume that the other one's really hard. But so before I started using Fresco pretty much exclusively, I worked in Procreate for years. And when I first switched to Fresco, I felt that. I was like, oh, this is hard. It's not as easy, blah, blah, blah. Procreate's more intuitive. And then used it for years and years and hardly used Procreate at all. But then when I was making the Procreate version of my Retro Supply Co set, I had to go back into Procreate and work in Procreate for a while to like dial in everything. And when I first switched back, I was like, oh, this is so hard. It's not intuitive at all. And it's just because I was used to where things were in Fresco. And then, you know, after a couple days of using it, it was perfectly natural. So I think you just like have to get over that hump. But I think for both apps, it's very short and like how quick you can be comfortable in them. Because I think they're both, like, as someone who's worked in so many different apps over the years, especially pre-iPad, these kind of apps are so much more streamlined because everything else, like all the desktop apps are like have so many features, or like, you know, I worked in Photoshop for years and there's so much stuff that's like not drawing related, and like everything in here is stuff that you would use for drawing. So it's you know, makes it easier. Something I don't love about this, I think this is one of those situations where I take this structure and then I make a drawing from it that is looser. So this is like my grid now. It's like a reference point, and then I can kind of push it where I want to and have that like underlying structure that I wanted, but give it some of my own character. Wait, is Jervis like Beavis? Did I miss that? Shut up, Jervis. That was a terrible butthead impression. Okay. I think this is mostly there. I just want to, I feel like it needs just a something to kind of tie it together. Okay, and let's load that as a selection because I have an idea. I'm going to use Whoop, sorry, hitting the mic. Where's my friggin' thing? Cool, Jervis. I hope you like it. Unfortunately, that has to be the last one because, you know, it's been an hour and a half and I got a hard stop today. I gotta go play with my kid. Quaxer, you said you love Fresco, but you don't like the way you have to save to the cloud. Well, you know, you don't, it saves to the cloud so that you can use some features, but you can always just save your PSDs wherever you want. It's the same as like if you want to be able to like mindlessly not think about saving and just have it save in the background, you can do that. But like, I guess for me, it seems weird because like as someone who pre-iPad, like when you worked in when you worked in Photoshop, you always had to like save your file, manually save them. So like in Fresco, you could do the same thing and save them wherever you want. You just, you know, come up here and, you know, save your PSD, which is what Fresco files are anyway. So you could just save it wherever you want. The cloud thing is so that it can sync seamlessly with the other Photoshop stuff, and it has a really great autosave feature. So if space is the issue, when you're done with work, just save them off and delete them from your cloud. Yeah. Ed Sandwich, you said you found Fresco pretty easy to use. There's some guy with a lot of videos on YouTube. Thanks. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry about last Friday. I will see you all next Friday, and check out my new video on Tuesday. And don't forget about the Black Friday sale. Black Friday 2025, you'll see the banner at the top of the website, but 25% off everything. And also check out Retro Supply Co. if you want the official Chris Piascik pack that has tons of stuff. This is the best time to do it because it's 50% off. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.